What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to the TRU Raider Podcast. And today we're going to be watching the Broncos and the Raiders week 14. And I got to tell you guys, man, normally I'm all about the Raiders winning, right? In any scenario, right? Usually, not always. Today is one of those days where it's like, I can't root for the Broncos to win, man, but definitely losing is what's in the best interest of the Raiders at this time. Because for one main reason, right? And that main reason is that the reason why I wanted us to kind of win before is because I wanted to see us kind of progressing, right? I wanted to see us progressing towards something that could be carried on into next season. I wanted to see a team that was finally kind of getting their rhythm, getting things going, moving into next season. That way we can actually have something to look forward to, right? And I was also pretty convinced that that we were going to stick with this coaching staff. And it's become very, very apparent that I don't believe Pete Carroll gets another year. I absolutely do not believe that Pete Carroll gets another year. I really think that Pete Carroll is going to be one and done. And at this point, they're going through the motions. They're just letting it play out. So for us to go and win some games right now when we're not going to keep our coach does not make any sense. The only way that I see the Raiders considering keeping Pete Carroll as their head coach, or Geno Smith for that matter, is if we go out there and we go undefeated for the rest of the year, which is extremely doubtful at this point. I really do not believe that the Raiders have it in them to go and win out for the rest of the season, right? And so since we're in that situation, I really truly believe that we're in a situation where the best thing for the Raiders is to just go ahead and lose, right? And that sucks. That absolutely sucks. Is this the Raiders report? No, this is not the Raiders. It's TRU Raider Podcast, man. You know, I'm always like, I don't know, man. I'm always wanting the Raiders to win, man. But when I look at what's happening with this team, I don't want Geno Smith back next year. I do not want Pete Carroll back next year. And I want us to be in a position where we can, one, pick up a quarterback. And the Browns just fumbled and the Titans recovered it. I think the Titans are actually going to win, man. That's crazy. We need a quarterback, right? And, we saw this happen with the Saints. We saw this happen with the Commanders. We saw this, not with the Saints, with the Patriots. My bad. We saw this happen with the Patriots. We saw this happen with the Commanders. We saw this happen with the Bears, where you have a bad team, right? And when you have a bad team and you're able to draft really high and get a quarterback, then it's attractive to coaches. Hummer said, so if Pete is gone, who do you want? Who do you think they actually get? Honestly, man, I don't have any coaches that I'm really, really into right now. I'm actually even wondering, I'm liking what that coach at Indiana did with that team. I know he has no NFL experience, but man, I was looking at that and I was like, I wonder if, but probably not. Probably not. When I look at, I do not want the ball. I don't really know. There's several coaches that I don't know, man. I'm not really, really into, right? I do like, in fact, I think it was either Graf or the Raiders report that was talking about the defensive coordinator from the Chargers. I think it was Graf. I like the idea of that, right? I like the idea of a younger coach who's doing really well that can, have something to really build on. There was all the rumors swirling about Mike Tomlin and the Steelers parting ways. And, if we're in that situation, I would definitely take a flyer on Mike Tomlin. But at this point, what I do know for a fact is I do not want him. I don't want Carroll. I don't want, Smith. And so if we want to move on from them, it's in our best interest to have a high. You guys have been telling me for weeks, like, oh, let's just tank, oh, let's just tank. And I'm like, nah, I'm not about tanking, right? And I don't think that we even would have to tank and score another touchdown. There we go. I don't even think that we would have to tank in order to get this. And I put out a video uh, earlier in the week, right? And it was about the road to pick number one. And one of those things was that the Titans needed to win. And I said that there's a pretty good chance that the Titans go out there and win today because Cam Ward wants to just further prove that he's a better pick than Shedeur. Right? And right now he's doing it. Shedeur Sanders has had a pretty good game, but he's also made some pretty awful mistakes. And right now, the Titans just went up by 11 points, 4:29 left in the fourth. Man, I got sidetracked when I saw that. One of the things that I've been saying for a while, man, is that I'm not convinced about Fernando Mendoza. So why would we tank for somebody like who are we even tanking? Right? When I take a look at like the tape, at first it was just like, all right, like what is this? What is this? Like, okay, he's good, and yeah, he kind of he's not super great with the deep ball. It makes pretty bad throws while on the run. Some of the time it's inconsistent. It's like, what is this guy really, right? And this last week, after I made this video, that's what I was talking about. This video about the Raiders road to pick number one. And I saw it as being really plausible that we could end up with the number one pick. And at that point, it's like, I'm not really sure about a quarterback in this draft. And, if nothing else, like we could trade back, get some draft capital build. There's a whole lot of holes. But the more I watched Fernando Mendoza this week, I watched a bunch of interviews on him, and I've shared with you guys several times that like interviews are very important to me. Right? The way that they talk at press conferences, the way that they talk in interviews, you can tell so much about a player by the way that they talk. This guy has really. What I saw is that this guy is a leader. I saw that Fernando Mendoza is very intelligent. I saw that he's very, very driven. Um, and those were really qualities that I really, really like. I started seeing a lot more like recent tape breakdowns on him, and because I don't do tape breakdowns. I watch what other people talk about, and I like to watch from the different viewpoints of people that like them, don't like them, things like that. That way, I can kind of make my own decision and figure out what it is that I believe. And especially after that game against Ohio State, because I've been telling you guys the quarterback that I like is Julian Saint. And it was a great opportunity to watch Fernando Mendoza go against Julian Saint, and let's see what this looks like when we're in the same game. And really, I don't want to be in a position where we're drafting at the head of the draft next year. And so when I look at Fernando Mendoza versus Julian Saint, I see a lot of similarities, and I like the way that Mendoza talks better than Saint, and I feel like he's a better leader. Now, Saint's younger and he has some more time to develop, but you know what, man? I could actually get right with us drafting Fernando Mendoza, but if we're gonna go and draft Mendoza, we probably need the number one overall pick. One of the things, CNG said not sold on Mendoza as well. Okay, that's smart though. That win over Ohio was on defense. It was, but if you look at some key factors that happened in that game yesterday, one of them was on the very first play, he makes a 9-yard throw, and he just got nailed by Curry. Right, Curry hit him in his throwing shoulder, and he was down on the field. I thought he's going to be out for game. It was a hard hit. This dude was out for one play, came back out, and was ready to go. And I like that. It's like, okay, this guy's got some dog in him, right? And then Ohio was pretty much, because it was a low scoring game, right? But Ohio looked like they were really in control of that game. And that really made me like feel like, you know what? I don't know about Mendoza, man. He's not taking control of this game. I know that they have like a super good defense, but he's really not taking control of this game. The dude did not like give up, right? And he made proper plays when he was able to, when he needed to. And I really like the poise of this kid. So I'm at a point where I want Fernando Mendoza. The number one reason is because we need a fucking quarterback, and I do not really like Dante Moore that much. Now, if we drafted Dante Moore, I'm not going to be pissed, right? If we got the number one pick and drafted Dante Moore, I'd be like, what do we do, right? But if it's like, okay, somebody trades up, or somebody drafts ahead of us, they picked up Fernando Mendoza, and then we end up with Dante Moore. It's like, okay, I get it, right? But then, through I've been looking at linemen and doing a lot of mock drafts and stuff like that, right? And there's a lot of good linemen that are going to be available in the second round, especially if we're picking at the top of the second round. There's good tackles, there's good centers, there's good guards. So if we can pick up an offensive lineman that's pretty close to the caliber of Jackson Powers Johnson, who we picked up in the second round, I could see us being in a position, Jack would follow suit, where we pick up a quarterback, we pick up an offensive lineman, um, and all of a sudden things are starting to look a whole lot better. One of the theories that I saw out there was that Dylan Parham is on his last year of his rookie contract. And what if they are holding Charles Grant until after Dylan Parham finishes contract and then he's going to move in at left guard? That would be interesting. Rocky and Paulo with the follow salute. Andres, AOC is not playing today, and that actually brings me to the fact that I am slacking right now. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about our injury report first. So the injury report week 14 is huge. We have so many players on here, and if you look at my YouTube channel, actually it's on TikTok too, it's also on Facebook. If I put out a video yesterday morning, talking about this injury report, and it looks very, very weird, right? A lot of people are talking about tanking. Trevor with the follow salute. A lot of people are talking about tanking, right? And if you look at our injury report, we have, let's see what, 5 players listed as questionable, 3 players as listed as out. So Jamal Adams, questionable. Alex Bachman, out. Max Crosby, questionable, which Pete Carroll said that he was going to play, but I don't know. We'll see. Michael Mayer, tight end, out. Jordan Meredith, center guard, questionable. Dylan Parham, questionable. Will Putnam is on there. Geno Smith is on there, but they are going to play. Dante Thornton Jr., concussion. He is out. He got that concussion last week on his birthday. Jeremy Chin, questionable. So it's like we have so many players. It's like it's almost as if like a lot of players are just kind of like, yeah, no, we're not doing this, because Pete Carroll obviously wants to win. Right? Pete Carroll is going to go out there and try to win. But what Pete Carroll wants and what the players want and what, front office wants are probably different things. Because Pete Carroll knows that he has to win some games in order to keep his job. We have a real bad habit of firing coaches if they're not winning games. But there's so many people that have been fans for 40, 50 years that are saying this is the worst season that they've ever seen. I can't really disagree, man. This is pretty bad. This is like making Jamarcus Russell look good kind of bad. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the punt is blocked. The Titans recover. They're going to run away with this game. For the Broncos, they don't really have anybody that I'm too worried about on their injury report. Game status is unspecified for everybody. Zach Allen, the defensive edge, is the only guy that I even want to mention. mostly because I have him on prize picks and getting a sack. You know, we don't have time to waste. Let's just win. Well, that's the thing, right? Is that right now, by winning, we're just moving back on the draft and putting it to where we're not going to end up with a quarterback. And last year I was even saying, like, you know what, like, let's go ahead and get Shedeur Sanders. And holy shit, was I wrong on that. Shedeur Sanders ended up going in the 5th round. We did not select him. It took him forever. He was like a 3rd string quarterback for the Browns. He finally got to where he's playing, and he plays okay. He's better than Geno Smith, you know? But by no means is Shedeur Sanders a great quarterback, right? Fernando Mendoza, definitely better than Shedeur Sanders, for sure. I think Fernando Mendoza is better than Cam Ward as well. Last year was a pretty weak quarterback draft class. No, I do like Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart ended up being a good quarterback. So inactives for week 14. We have running back Zamir White, wide receiver Dante Thornton Jr., quarterback Aiden O'Connell, cornerback Darnay Holmes, wide receiver Alex Bachman, tight end Michael Mayer, and defensive lineman like Oki. It's crazy to me that Aiden O'Connell is still sitting as that QB3. Pete Carroll really does not want the nation to be yelling for Aiden O'Connell. So they're making it where he can't. It's Angela. Is Crosby playing tonight? I heard he wasn't. Pete Carroll said that he will be. I googled it earlier because I have Crosby for getting a sack in this game on Prize Picks, and so I was looking it up, and Google AI said that he should be playing this game, but I haven't seen anything that officially states whether he's playing or not. So it looks like the Titans are going to run away with this game, and the Saints they are in the lead by 4 with a minute 48. The Bucks have the ball, so they got to get a stop right here. Those are two teams that I personally want to get wins because if they get wins, we jump in front of them in the draft. Christopher Garcia with the follow sweep. So, from my understanding, the Titans, even though they all have the same record as us and we beat them, I saw somebody that was saying that we'd end up drafting in front of them anyway because of strength of schedule. Because the strength of schedule, the Titans have a harder schedule than us, and so then we would pick in front of them. Oh shit! I just realized that the Raiders game is blocked in my area. I think it's showing on Paramount Plus though. Shit, man. I guess I wasn't paying attention on this, and I should have been. I apologize for the dead air, you guys. I gotta sign into Paramount. In fact, I don't even have it, so I gotta make a account. Just stupid. But it is what it is, nation. So I don't know where you're at and if it's showing on Paramount, but a lot of people are asking me on TikTok to show the game, and I am not showing the game. But in my area, at least, it's showing on Paramount Plus. Okay, well now they're saying I have an account. What the hell? What's up, Dom? How you doing? shit, you guys. This thing is being stupid. I apologize for the dead time, you guys. I'm fighting with my TV right now. Just give me a minute. Dave, Aiden O'Connell can't be in by the second quarter because he's listed as the emergency third string quarterback. So, unfortunately, that's not even an option. Yeah, you guys are probably going to have to fill me in on what's going on because it should be already kickoff. I'm just struggling with my stupid computer right now. Fucking lies, dude. Screen to the right gets first down. All right, hold up, y'all. I'll be right back. Run to the left side, stopped at the line by D. White. Broncos have the ball. Is that correct, Hummer? Funny, I went to my wife to go ask her what's the sign in because I couldn't figure it out. And she's like, I don't even think we have an account. So I'm just having to sign up for one right now. Stupid. Guess I should have checked this first, right? It's all good, y'all. I never claimed to be smart, all right? There we go. All right, I finally got the game, y'all. Roberto with the follow salute. Thank y'all for having patience with me. All right, it's 2nd and 5. Donkeys have the ball. And I'm just gonna say it again. I want us to get the number one pick. If we're gonna suck this bad this many years in a row, I want us to get the damn number one pick. If we get the number one pick, that means it's easy to move on from Pete Carroll because it'll be easier to get another coach, right? Because then they'll say, I can go get the quarterbacks that I want. The reason why we couldn't get a Ben Johnson, the reason why we, couldn't get Mike Vrabel, we didn't have a quarterback. They're showing that since 2020, we won 8 straight, and now the Broncos won 3 straight. All right, 2nd and 5. There's 11:31 left. First on my TV. Bo Nix completed first down. So what I do want to see though is I want to see a Raiders team that hasn't just given up. I don't want to mispronounce your name, but a wall? Is that how you say it? Oh, are you ahead of me? Check, check. It looked like my mic was red, man. Am I coming through now? Michael Rodriguez with all of Snoop. Hummer, you let me know if you can hear me. B Dog, it's just me talking about the game, talking with y'all, answering comments. Oh, Knicks completed a court and okay. Oh, thanks, Summer. I appreciate that. Yeah, my mic was red for a minute though. I don't know what was going on. All right, 1st and 10. The handoff, huge hole up the middle, brought down by Lonnie Johnson Jr. Oh man, fingers. The Raiders keep losing because they put the eye patch on the good eye. You ain't wrong, bro. Jay Texas, where's the game showing? I'm watching it on Paramount Plus. It says CBS Sports on the top. I don't know about your area, man. All right, 1st and 10. Broncos have the ball on the R18. Screen pass to Harvey. Jeremy Chin pushes him out of bounds at the line of scrimmage. TJ said, hopefully we lose so we can draft Mendoza or Stockton. So I don't know if Stockton is moving up draft boards. I did see that Georgia did play really well yesterday. Um, and although Mendoza didn't have like this huge monumental game, I really liked the way that he showed up with royalty with the fellas. And it could just be that like that was just like the last straw because I really wasn't fully convinced, but I started to lean towards like, man, I had kind of seen enough of the stuff that I watched this week that like I think that Mendoza could definitely be a good quarterback at the next level. He's got the measurables, he's got the skill, he's got the mentality. I was like, you know what? Like I think so. But then, after just watching how he showed up in that game, the lights were not too bright. The lights were definitely not too bright. You could see the kicker for Ohio State. The lights were definitely too bright. Max Crosby had an offside. Yeah, that kicker, man, he kept missing field goals, and really, if the lights weren't too bright for that kicker, then Ohio State wins that game. But Mendoza, he showed up, and you can tell that the moment's not too big for him. Broncos run it for the first down. Is that guy's name Batty? Yeah, that's crazy. Unreal said, "Let's go Titans." What's going on in that game? Titans 31 to 23 on the Browns. What's going on with the Saints? Saints won. Saints won, you guys. For those not following, if you look at Tankathon.com, the Raiders just moved up to the number 3 overall pick. It was first and goal. They went for a run with Harvey. He did not get in, though. It's second and goal now. Titans have the ball game. Dude, they have that game. Well, I can't believe that the Saints already pulled out a dub. I thought they're probably not going to beat the Bucks unless Mayfield was out because I know he did hurt his shoulder last week. But shows I was wrong on that. How come Kuntz isn't in? That was surprising. What the heck was that? So Bo Nix ran out of as he was going out of bounds. He jumped and threw it in the end zone. His receiver was standing out of bounds, so it went nowhere. I got sidetracked because I noticed that Malcolm Kuntz wasn't in. I think that was Jonah Laulu. Cash, are you a Saints fan? You know what's going on? Frigo, are you like just a bandwagon guy or what? You must not know anything about Raiders. James Purple in the building with the Raiders. I haven't seen you in a minute, bro. Where you been? Watching our team suck. That's what we've been doing over here. Watching the Raiders unable to put anything together. Third and goal. Nix just runs for it, gets the touchdown. Max Crosby had definitely beat the right tackle, but Nix he knew that the play was falling apart and he just ran. All right, Frigo, get the fuck out of here then. People are crazy, bro. It's like a trip, right? Like, cause like the people that come and they watch the channel, like salute to y'all. Like y'all the real ones, for real, right? I got many people that just keep, coming back, and that's cool, and I appreciate you guys a lot, right? But then like there's the people that want to jump in here and be like, you don't do this channel the way that I think you should do it, so you suck. It's like, all right, like you could just swipe on, right? Lexia, they just showed Joe on TV. What Joe? Cash Rain says the Saints haven't got that good of a win since last season. Saints have been struggling, man. Surprised that y'all thought Derek Carr was going to be your answer. Oh, I would rather have had Derek Carr over the last several years than the shit show of QBs that we've had. So I get it. Sneakerology is going to be another long Sunday. Not really, right? Because the Saints just won against the Buccaneers. So we moved up to number 3 overall. And the Titans are leading the Browns right now, 31-23 with 2 minutes left in the quarter. So if the Titans win, even though we'll have the same record, we'll both be and we beat them. From my understanding, we still move ahead of them. I could be wrong. That's crazy. And then just the Giants would be ahead of us, and that's easy peasy. We play the Giants in a couple of weeks, so then we just got to lose. Right? The game is at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. Gunsmoke, what'd you miss? Look, man, I got some of my moderators up in here. Broncos scored a touchdown. Um, I've gotten right with the fact that we should just move out. That's basically what's gone to speakerology with me in Mendoza. That's another thing that you missed, both speakerology and Mendoza, is that I've gotten to a spot where I want Mendoza. I know before I was saying that I'm not convinced about him. I think I've seen enough. I want him to be a Raider. Homer said, I'm like 35, 36 seconds ahead of you on YouTube TV. But I figure out our defensive scheme in this game. We're going to tire out the offense by letting them work all the way down the field. Homer, that was a good one, man. Yeah, I was actually watching Graph and Hammer yesterday during the Ohio State game, and I had to pause them and then let the game play for a little bit and then unpause them. That way it would work out because it kept spoiling all the plays for me, man. Dylan Wiley runs it out to 29 on the kickoff. Damon Wagner says, "Go Raiders." There is no Chargers Nation, so I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe the Bolta boys? But yeah, no, there's only one nation. And it's a Raider Nation. But yeah, to be fair, man, you guys aren't going to get the Raiders squeaking out a win against the Broncos. That's very unlikely. Alex with the follow salute. All right. Bowers in motion. Geno Smith goes to throw. Up the middle, completed to Ian. Oh, Ian Thomas. So that was a first down, 10 yards. Geno Smith has been kind of clicking with Ian Thomas. Interesting. Yeah, unreal. Completion by Geno. Pitch to Genty. Genty doesn't really get any blocks, so he only picks up about 3 yards. So since Chip Kelly's been out, Danny with the ball is loose. Since Chip Kelly's been out, what I've noticed is that our blocking scheme hasn't really gotten much better. Is it a little bit better? Yeah, but not really, not really notable. And I get it. There's the talent piece, but there's also like what's happening with the coaching. Gunsmoke's ahead. Completed a Trey Tucker for a pickup of about 16 yards. So far, Raiders looking pretty good. Trey Tucker's got some grass in his helmet. So we are now on the 42-yard line. Completed the Genty on the outside. Looked like a pickup of about 5. Ashton Genty leads all rookies in scrimmage. Interesting. Yayo? No, never. Crazy. Commander's got a goose egg? Real? Genty ran for a couple yards, third down. Yeah, Josh, they are looking sharp so far. It's pretty interesting. Alex said, damn, we losing. Like the usual, man. 3rd and 3. I don't know, man. Now that I want the Raiders to lose, watch them start winning, you know? This is how it goes. Smith had all the time in the world to throw that, but he finally dumped it off to Ian Thomas, got the first down. The Browns went up? No. No, they can't go up, man. They were down by 8. They could tie it. It's still not shown on Google. David King, I didn't see, man. I didn't see what kind of welcome he got. I was slacking and didn't have the game up. Ashton Genty with a pretty decent run there. I think he picked up about 5, 6. Oh, dang, you're right. Caleb Rogers is in at right guard. Hummer looking good. Last game was NFL start. He was the highest ranked lineman that game. And only played 2 quarters. That is serious potential there. And I hope that we have our future right guard there. That would be amazing. Get Jackson Powers Johnson back in some. Genty gets the first down, run for about 5 yards, and a great block by Caleb Rogers. Gunsmoke said, man, something looks different. It does, which is interesting, right? Because, I mean, I guess Greg Olson's had some more time to get some shit together. We actually have Caleb Rogers out there on the line, which is helping, I'm sure, instead of Alex Cap. I don't think he's good. One of the things that gets me, though, is that we have Stone Forsythe at left tackle. Why do we have that? That was a screen pass to Genty, by the way. We picked up a couple yards. Yeah, 4 yards on that. Second and 6. Touchdown, Brock Bowers. Do you notice that Geno Smith is actually having time to throw? Interesting. Yeah, Gunsmoke, our line looks better. What's going on? Now, the rushing wasn't super great. I guess the first couple rushes, right? But those last 2 or 3 looked pretty good. And they're actually running the ball and passing the ball, mixing it up. We did see that last week, though, and then it just went pass, 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 pass. Extra point is good. At the end of the first, it's tied 7-7. Hummer said, I'm focusing on Rogers. Their D linemen are avoiding him like the plague. I mean, it's looking like Rogers is actually really doing good and beef up this offensive line. It's kind of crazy. I'm gonna jump real quick. Hedeursanders has 365 passing yards. So if the Browns went for two and then they missed it, is that what happened in that game? Right. Right. It's just to keep the ball. Got Pollard running like a madman just to get to the line of scrimmage. Looks like Titans are going to squeak out a win, man. Titans are going to squeak out a win. CJ's like, no, why are we trying to win? We need to lose. And that's how it went last year, man. It's like we're just like, all right, let's just embrace the losing, and then we went with won some stupid games at the end of the year. AP still lost his job. So, Homer said the Broncos have the worst D line at stopping the run. They're only setting 4 and 60 grand. That is giving too much time now. Rodgers is looking around. All right, Titans win. Final 31-29. Titans win over the Browns. They are now 2-11. Holy shit. I was not expecting that. That's great. So the information I got, I guess, is wrong because Tankathon has the Giants at number one overall, then Titans are in front of us, and then we are at number three. Though they have 11 losses, 2 wins. We have 10 losses. So I think that might change. Maybe you're right. Browns lost, but Sanders still played a pretty damn good game. I think that Sanders has earned some rights as far as trying to be the starter over there. Bo Nix completed for the first down, ran out of bounds. Right, now. Was that Humphrey? It's nice for the Chiefs to be in the hunt for the playoffs, man, but for the Patriots and the Broncos to be back at the top, that's all right. Broncos running the ball with Harvey looked like a pick of about 6. All right, David King said all the Raiders are going to do from this point on is win here and there to kick the can down the road. What are you talking about? Like basically, we're going to dink and dunk and look like trash for the rest of the game because I would not doubt that. Nick's completed for the first down. Kelly couldn't get the tackle, but he finally pushed him out of bounds. Gunsmoke said, man, every year when we need to win, we lose. When we need to tank, we start looking good. It's brutal. Yeah, that's not happening, Randy. All right, first and 10. Broncos on the 40, 44. Charles Snowden gets the tackle for loss. It's like a loss of about 3. Second and 13. Bo Nix with the pass to the sideline completed to Mims for about 5. Oh, shit. Kelly get hurt? Is that what's going on here? Okay, David. What I'm saying is the Raiders might win a couple games here and there to keep kicking the can down the road instead of cutting ties. Oh, no, dude. And that sucks, right? And that's I was watching Waste Talent this morning, right? And he was saying that like he's not getting attached to the idea of getting a top 2 draft pick because if he starts getting attached to getting Fernando Mendoza, and that just sets him up for the Raiders to let him down again. And I get that, right? Because like, okay, we go into the season thinking, we're going to win some games. We might in playoff contention towards the end of the year. We're not going to go to the Super Bowl, but at least we'll compete, right? And then, nope, we look like garbage, right? And it's just like, man, the Raiders are just hurting me all year. So I finally get to a spot where it's like, you know what, man? I want this quarterback. Let's go ahead. We're at like right now we're a top 3 pick. Let's go. Let's go ahead and lose out and try to get us a quarterback. And then boom, it sets me in a position again to where it's like, man, I can start getting my feelings hurt again by the damn Raiders because they're not doing what they need to do in order for us to get where we need to get. So, try not to get too attached to shit. But I still can't believe the Titans messed around with that win, man. In this, and the Giants, they let it. What are they playing again? Do they have the bye? Looks like they have a bye. They're playing the Commanders. Did the Commanders just put up a goose egg? Yeah, 31-0 Vikings Commanders. So I mean, oh shit, Philly is really really down. You got the card out there. Everybody's gathered around him. Serious leg injury. David King, I felt that way, man. He said Mendoza actually looked pretty darn good last night. That interception was not his fault. That was just a screenplay. Actually looked I like a lot of his poise, the dog in him. I like the fact that you could just tell that there was no point in that game, but he just kind of looked at the kid, even though things aren't going his way. That perseverance, right? And those are the kind of things that I want to see in a quarterback, like perseverance. I want to see somebody because you can have measurables, you can have the ability to play, but if you don't have the perseverance, or if the game is just too big for you, or those kind of things, man, you take a big hit, you just push out on the important game. It's like, all right, it just shows a lot about your character. But he showed up really well in all those things. So it looks like Caillou Blue Kelly is going to probably be out for the season, which maybe Darian Porter can actually finally get some actual real playing time. I don't ever want to see somebody get hurt, man. I guess that's like the silver lining of the situation is that Darian Porter, our rookie third rounder, will actually get some foot. Jim King said, I actually saw Mendoza throw real NFL type passes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty convinced at this point that Mendoza is going to be good at the next level. I think Mendoza will instantly be a top 10 quarterback. I'm not really sure about that, man. No, might take some development time. Do I think that he's better than Cam Ward? Yes. So I think that Mendoza has the opportunity to, if we give him an offensive line, if we end up with a different coach besides Pete Carroll. Because that's another reason why, right, why I want to lose out is because if we lose out, it's almost guaranteed that we're going to move on from Pete Carroll. If we go into next season with Pete Carroll, I doubt he's going to. I doubt that we draft a quarterback. He'd be like, no, do you know? Harry Blue Kelly had a left knee injury. 3rd and 8. Broncos. Bonick stepped into the pocket, completed to Sutton for first down, but there is a flag. It's against Raiders, whatever the flag is. David King, I'll have to watch some tape on Marcel Reed. I haven't seen anything. All right. 1st and 10, screen pass. Looked like I think about 6 yards. Batty. I can't believe that dude's name is Batty, bro. That's crazy. Alec, who do you think is the top QB in the draft? I definitely would say Fernando Mendoza. I've been watching a lot of tape on Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore, and Ty Simpson. Fernando Mendoza is definitely the top out of those three. Dante Moore, he does show a lot of good promise. He's definitely, I don't know if he's really that close. Max Crosby gets the tackle for loss, so he's good at. Would I be upset if we got Dante Moore? No. Would I be upset if we drafted him number 1 overall? Yeah. Would I be upset if we traded up for Dante Moore? Yeah. But let's say we mess around and win a game, right? We mess around and win a game and we fall down to like, pick number 4 or 5, and we picked up Dante Moore because Fernando Mendoza had already been drafted. Well, I can be pretty good with that. Nicks off his back foot. Oh, I thought it was completed. Darian Porter was amazing coverage on that, as per usual. Darian Porter's going to be that dude that. Um, Ty Simpson is a quarterback guy from Alabama. I I have not liked what I've seen for him. Everybody keeps saying that he's one of three first round quarterbacks for this year. The way that he played against Georgia was horrific. And I think that he lost some draft stock. Fernando is not just a pocket QB. He can also scramble. He's actually really quick and he has good eyes. I think he has 6 rushing touchdowns actually this season. But yeah, like the dude, he can scramble. He would prefer to pass, but he is definitely a run threat. Definitely a bigger run threat than Geno Smith, that's for sure. Grand Poachers? At least he got it right. Yeah, that's what I like when refs let things play out. Sometimes they're too quick on the whistle. How last night Julian Sand got hit on one of those where it looked like he was going to get sacked, and then he was able to escape and get down the field and throw it away, and then they rolled it as a sack. It was like that's crazy. Hey, Money says Fernando needs to be in a uniform next year. The Saints won today, and so did the Titans. K9, the draft isn't always the answer. The problem is that we we haven't. Okay, the last quarterback that we drafted in the first 2 rounds was Derek Carr, 2014. Like it's been over 10 years since we used one of the top picks on the quarterback. Last time we used a number 1 pick for a quarterback was 2006. The Raiders have rarely done that. Raiders are always bringing in these veterans, thinking that we're going to put a band-aid on this, and it hasn't been working. David King, yeah, Jeremiah Smith, wide receiver from Ohio State, is definitely a great receiver. I actually don't know how high we're looking at Jeremiah Smith. Right. And Gino isn't that bad now. He's awful. He said, I even would rather have Marcus Russell. So, what you mean when you said Marcus, or are you meaning Marcus Mariota? So Jeremiah Smith is projected for the 2027 draft. What's up, you still doing? Glad you made it. That's some good shit, man. All right, 1st and 10 from the 5. Play action, Geno Smith. Whoa. Then dumped it to Genty. Lost of a yard. That was a weird ass play. So Geno Smith does a play action, spins around, dumps it to Genty. I look at snap to pass. They're showing that Geno Smith is getting the ball out in about 2.2 seconds. 3.2 on the touchdown to Brock Bowers. That's crazy. I'm surprised that he's been able to get the ball out quickly from this. Geno Smith to Jack Bash. There's a flag. Okay, yeah, there it is. Honestly, man, if we could pick up both Mendoza and Elijah Surratt, give him his number one wide receiver, he's already really familiar with, that would be legit. So Pat Surtain got a pass interference on that. It's going to be first down Raiders. Ryder Jet said if Dino would just keep targeting Bowers, you guys will win the game and take us down a peg. But then he doesn't, It's crazy. Hand off to Genty. Genty found a hole and got about 6 yards. I'm not going to say your name, man, but it's crazy. Smith taking a sack. Malcolm Roach. K9, you're right. The offensive line is bad and no QB would perform well under it. My biggest knock on Geno is not only his bad decision making, because there's plenty of plays where there's wide open people and it's like he can't see him. He can't see without his glasses. But also his attitude, flipping off Raiders fans and just man, I've been very unimpressed with Geno Smith. There's a flag out. Ashton Genty ran for about 6. Offsides on Nick Bonito. Wow. Interesting. So do you think Raiders are tanking? I do not think that the Raiders are tanking. Um, Pete Carroll is going out there and trying to win. We just actually suck this bad. Now, at this point, I don't want the Raiders to win another game. So, I mean, I know I've said I'm against tanking, right? And the team is obviously not going to tank, but I don't want to see any more wins. Smith, for some reason, did not move in the pocket, even though it collapsed on him. He faked the throw, did not throw it, got sacked. Franklin Myers got the sack. Gino stepped right into Ashton Genty, who was struggling to keep a block for him. I don't know what he was thinking. See, just throw it to him. He didn't throw it to Brock Bowers because there was one guy on him. Throw him the damn ball. Brock Bowers is going to get that. See, that's what I'm talking about, K9, where Geno Smith makes bad decisions. Oh, watched it. We hit the guy, did not get the tackle, and the Broncos returned the punt for a touchdown. That one's also Geno's fault. Taking 2 sacks in a row and then putting us in bad punt position. Mims runs it back for a touchdown. Who didn't wrap up that tackle, too? Yeah, Gunsmoke, I'm in the same way. Like, why are we even. The only reason to continue to play Geno is because he's going to lose us. So, no, keep doing what you're doing, Geno. Oh, I missed it. I was looking at the chat. Who missed that tackle? Yeah, Humber Bowers he was pretty open. He had one guy on him, but for Bowers, that's open. All right, Broncos go up 14-7. Raiders going to do Raiders things. Yeah, I do know that we have a whole lot of holes on this team, a whole lot of problems. It starts with the coaching. That starts with our head coach, um, our our offensive line coach, our quarterback. We lack a wide receiver one. Our offensive line is horrible. Now that we're actually playing one of our third round rookie guards, he's actually doing really well. If we had just put Jackson Powers Johnson at center like how he's supposed to be, it would have been a whole lot different, right? And if you look at the Raiders, I think it's almost half our roster are going to be free agents. So, and we have like the second most cap space. So a lot of the players that aren't really bought in, that we don't really like, they're probably not going to be here next year. So hopefully we hold on to some players. I know Jeremy Chin is on a 2-year deal, so I'm technology at what point is Graham gone? The problem is that Patrick Graham is going to probably get a pass on this year because they're going to blame Carroll for meddling in the defense. Because it's obviously not Patrick Graham's usual speed. But also, there are rumors that Patrick Graham is probably not going to come back. But really, people talk so highly about Patrick Graham, but I don't like him. I do not like Patrick Graham. There's so many, like, it's just constant, like, zone, bend, but don't break. There's all these things that just really don't go well, like, for our defense. Like, always, there's going to be somebody open up the middle. Like, always. You'll have Travis Kelce wide open in the middle of the field. Like, and everybody's just sitting in their zone. Like, no, we don't need to address the fact that he's wide open right in the middle of all of us. Like a zone doesn't mean just stand where you are. It means you have a zone that you cover. So move across your zone. I get it's crazy. It's crazy. I do not like this. And also our run defense, since we've had Patrick Graham, has been pretty horrific. Like they'll say, "Oh, Raiders are doing a good job stopping the run," but then they run, and eventually they break huge runs on us. You have teams putting up over 200 rushing yards against us. Too slow, you funny, bro. All right, Raiders returning the kick right now. Raheem Mostert over the 30. It says about the 31. Yeah, David, Aiden O'Connell is inactive again. They really do not want us yelling for Aiden O'Connell to go in the game. So if they just keep him inactive, then he's not going to end up playing. Yeah, good smoke. Bowers would have definitely won that matchup against that corner. Raiders have the ball again. 14-7, 6:21 left in the first half. Ian Thomas in motion. Geno Smith completed a Trey Tucker. He gets the first down. Looked like about 11 yards. Pushed out of bounds. K9, who would be the second best quarterback behind Mendoza in the draft? I think it's going to be Dante Moore. Ooh. Ross said Brady will end up picking Simpson. I do not like Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson, if we draft Ty Simpson, it better be like at least the second, third round. Ashton Genty runs for about 3 yards in that one. Gunsmoke, I'm going to have to hit you with a pause on that one, man. A pause. What are you?
What the hell you say?
What the hell you say? AOC should have the start. Should have had the start last year. He keeps getting shafted like Josh Jacobs was, but in a different way. Pause all the way, my guy. Oh, Geno Smith floated one up for Ashton Genty, but Ashton Genty couldn't get his eyes on it. That was actually a good play by Geno Smith. Genty just could not track it down. Martinez said Raiders ain't going for a QB. If we end up with a top 2 pick, we better. We need a QB. A couple weeks ago, I wanted to go offensive line, defensive line. Let's get some corners. Let's stack it up. Blitz on Geno. He almost threw a pick to Allen. Allen just dropped it. K9 Geno is Pete's QB, I'm afraid. That's exactly right. And so that's why we need to get rid of Pete. That's exactly why we need to get rid of Pete. Hummer said, look at any of the top 20 QB. All of them could make that throw and do it 1 or 2 times per drive. But Geno takes a sack, pick it in there. You know what, man? Let's just let Geno mess this whole thing up. It's 4th and 7. AJ Cole's going to do what he does best, put us in good field position. Down at the 12. Alex, you're not wrong. Yeah, I think you're right, David King, that Geno would not have survived the Oakland Coliseum. Right. David King, damn, I don't know if I put that on YouTube. I know I definitely have it on Facebook, TikTok. There's a video of Geno Smith. And it's like that movie My Girl with Macaulay Culkin, where she's saying, "Where are his glasses? You can't see without his glasses." It's so Geno Smith cannot see. Gunsmoke wants an O line for Christmas. Yes, I'm there. Give Geno where credit is due. He is really good at keeping our punter in good shape. Accurate. Yeah, so David King, Jeremiah Smith won't come out until 2027. However, maybe we can be in position where we have a quarterback that can actually throw the ball by then. Go ahead and pick up a number 1 right receiver 2027 draft. I mean, so far today has gone a whole lot better than I would have pictured. I'm interested to see if once we get the L today, if we jump ahead of Tennessee. Because at that point, it's straight coasting, guys. Straight up coasting. That puts us in a position. Let me pull this up. Sorry, on TikTok, I can only put up on YouTube. On Tankathon, we got the New York Giants picking number 1. Then we got the Tennessee Titans, and then the Las Vegas Raiders. Once we lose, we move up. Tennessee will be number 3. We'll be number 2. Giants, we play them in a couple of weeks. All we got to do is lose to the Giants and not win any other game. It's crazy. RJ Harvey with the 4-yard run. Got a Raider missing his helmet. I don't know, man. I feel like that's something. Remember, we have a legit shot against the Giants. We kind of don't, right? Because even though we have the same record, if you watch the way that the Giants have been playing all year. Like I've been watching Giants games because I like Jackson Dart. Um, Even without Malik Neighbors, even without Cam Scatterbo, um, they are playing better football than us. Dix rolled out to the right and completed the pass to Jordan Humphrey for a first down. Yeah, Mark Kelly can get out of here because we don't play that. Andres said, "We Raiders fans today." Well, you're going to see what it's like to be a Raiders fan. Catch a big. All right. First and 10, 3:15 left in the half. Go next, pass up the middle, completed. First down, about 12 yards. Troutman. Jim King said, about how many Broncos fans do you think are at the game right now? About 70%. Yeah, Broncos are actually having a winning season again. They are looking to win the division. Raiders are playing horrible, and they're in Vegas, so everybody gets to go on vacation. I'd say that there's probably a shit ton of Broncos fans. I haven't been paying attention to the crowd. Oh, Nick's he's so mobile, man. Mobile in the backfield. Completed to Harvey, looked like a pickup of about 4 yards. Joshua Trinidad. When do you think the Raiders will honestly be contenders for the Super Bowl? Right now. So the, the the big part of that is first we need a quarterback and we need a head coach. And if we're in a position where we draft number one overall this next draft, which is very, very doable if we don't win any more games. If we don't win a single other game, we will probably be drafted. If not, we'll be number two. At that point, if we can actually get a legitimate quarterback, that's gonna attract coaches, right? Because we have no state tax, we have the second most cap space. Um, we have a top draft pick, so if they can go out there and get the quarterback that they're choosing, and then we have like almost half our roster are going to be free agents. So really, whoever comes in, they can get Spytek's ear and be like, "Yo, like these are some of the guys I want to pick up." They don't just inherit some roster. Really, we have a lot of foundational pieces in place. We have Colton Miller, got Jackson Powers Johnson, we got Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers, got Max Crosby. Yes, we need a whole lot of other pieces, right? But so far, what we're seeing is once Darian Porter Jr., third round cornerback, is actually playing, he plays really good. And we actually have third round pick Caleb Rogers actually playing right guard. He's playing really good. So it's looking to me like John Spytek's picks are actually looking pretty damn good. And Pete Carroll just hasn't been friggin' playing. Mendoza won't make the impact overnight. We don't need him to make an impact overnight, right? Mendoza can change us from being a 2-win team to, let's say, a 7 or 8 win team because he's got offensive weapons, right? That I would take. I would take that. And then the following draft, we go ahead and continue to build. I mean, really, honestly, I think that we could do one of those quick turnarounds like the Commanders did, but that's not looking very good for them right now. Homer said, "My oldest son is a Giants fan, so I watch them. They are dysfunctional, as bad as us. They have as many holes as us. I still feel like they're playing better football. They're actually pretty competitive. They're actually scoring points. Because that's the kicker, right? If you don't score points, you can't win. And yeah, we had a good first drive, but I don't know, man. That 7 might stay on the board for a while." Yeah, Carlos, it's painful to be in that spot. To be like, I want to go ahead and lose to get a better, especially against the damn Broncos. Max Crosby wrapped that dude up, but he was not going down. Jonah Laulu was holding on to his ankles. You gotta be a tough dude to have Crosby just dive on you and then stand. But yeah, man, against the Broncos, it sucks to be here because I'm definitely not rooting for the Broncos. Don't get me wrong. I'm rooting for a top team. And man, I've been saying don't take, don't take, don't take, man. At this point, I want to lose. Now, I don't want our franchise to actually be out there intentionally losing games. But I don't think that they could win a game to save their life. Medora with the follow. So timeout Broncos. There's a minute two left in the first half. Yeah, David King. Seahawks are actually looking like a legitimate team. I think that the Bears are looking pretty good. The Rams are looking pretty good. I think that the Broncos have had a pretty easy schedule, though in the games where they're playing good teams, they have found a way to win. Um, Bills cannot stay consistent to save their life. Seahawks look pretty good. And the Colts, I mean, Colts might be done, man. Daniel Jones is hurt. Now his other leg is hurt. Well, Nick's rolling to the left, getting away from Tyree Wilson. Oh, throws it on the run, and Paul Mao with a late hit. I don't know how he did not get a flag for that late hit. Tyler, Eagles, Chiefs. Eagles are struggling with consistency, though I do believe that they'll be a competitor, and I can't ever count the Chiefs out. Yeah, Keenan, we should have picked up Sam Donald, but apparently Brady said no. I do not want Sam Donald. I don't know if that's true. Those are the rumors that are swirling. Second and 10, Bonix has all the time in the world. Completed for about 6 yards. Ingram. Chewy was good, man. How you doing? 33 to Sutton, and it's thrown behind him, incomplete. That's going to be fourth and three with 25 seconds left of the clock. Ryan G said, when we lose, we should have a number two pick. I believe so. Slick with the follow salute. If we move up to the number two pick, all we got to do is lose out because we're playing against the Giants. And the Giants will be the only team picking ahead of us. Sorry, you guys. I think I'm developing a cough. Oh, man. Knicks gets the first down to Franklin with pressure in his face. Second time out by the Broncos. Yeah, I'm not so sure if Brady really had power or not, but there was a, I forget who was talking about it, man. Apparently, Brady was like, he didn't want Sam Darnold. This doesn't make sense to me, though. Sam Darnold's definitely better than Chiefs. RLV, well, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, if you pay attention to ROV, that's what we're talking about. That's great. So it's under review right now. Yeah, he held on. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're talking about that the Raiders suck, man. It's all good. Yeah, people still watch the Raiders. That's the thing, right? Is that Raiders fans, we don't only watch when our team is good because then we never watch. That's it. I have only seen probably about 4 seasons in my entire lifetime. I can honestly say that the Raiders were the team. So, you know, I don't know, Gunsmoke. I think if they're going to get that first, because of forward progress. I mean, you still get forward progress even if you're bobbling. That's a great. Chill with the follow salute. Exactly. We are real fans. Yeah, we stay loyal, man. My wife lucked out because she got with the Raiders fan. So I'm loyal and I'm gonna stick it out. JD with the follow salute. It's commercial. Let me get a drink real quick, man. That sucks, man. So like last weekend I was sick, but it only lasted for like 2 days. And then my kids started like showing signs of being sick on Friday. And it's pretty apparent to me. Throat's dry, chest, coughing. And Gunsmoke said he didn't have possession until he was on his back. So technically, he had possession behind the first, which would mean a turnover on downs. Not enough for a first down. Okay. Raiders have the ball. Completed a Trey Tucker for about 7 yards. Diving catch. Oh, please. I guess it hit the ground. Oh, yeah, that definitely hit the ground. K9 said, my dad is one of the original Raiders fans. He's been there since their inaugural season in 1960. That's dope, man. That's My dad wasn't a fan of any team. My grandpa was a Cowboys fan. I couldn't do it. Second and 10, completed over the middle to Tyler Lockett. Timeout, Raiders. Second timeout. Doug Baby with the follow salute. Third and 3. Score is 14-7. 14 seconds left in the first half. 33 on our 47. Geno Smith almost got sacked. Launches it for Tucker. Threw a 50-50 ball to Trey Tucker with Patrick Tanner. It's not going to get you. Counselor's talking some shit, but I guess it's fun. Fourth and 3. Denver calls a timeout. I don't think Sean Payton would like to look at that. The Raiders call timeout. So Kappa is it. I guess Kappa's at center. What? David on one right now, bro. You are one right now, David. All right. Gino takes a snap. Gets sacked. Bonito gets a sack. I mean, there's a debate on if the clock can run out. 3 seconds on the game clock. He was down with 3 seconds. It was crazy. What is that? 8 sacks already? I think it's 4. But it's a lot. Yeah, gun smoke. Facts. They didn't go for the 62-yarder, huh? They're going for the Hail Mary. Bo Nix has plenty of space, throws it up into the end zone, batted away. Hail Mary, no good. I'm actually surprised that he didn't run that. That's crazy. That is crazy. Charlie, they've been blocking. they've been blocking for Gino all game. They still taking sacks. He's making bad decisions and holding the ball too long. Now, there could be good coverage, right? But Gino's not rolling out. He's not getting out of the pocket. He's not moving. That was one of the things I really liked about watching Fernando Mendoza, man, is that he had a lot of good pocket awareness and was moving around when he needed to. Did like that. So we go into halftime. The score is 14-7. Broncos are in the lead. It's about the half. I believe that the Raiders are good. I do believe I missed the kickoff. I was having some issues logging in. Yeah, Mr. Pirate Bones. Yes, we need to pick up Mendoza next season. Absolutely. I've seen enough. I'm pretty convinced that Mendoza should be our guy because if he's not our guy, then that means that what? What do we do at quarterback? What do we do at quarterback? Run it back with Gino another year and suck for another year. That way we could get a quarterback in the next draft. You know, uh, Julian Sands not coming out this year. CJ Carr's not coming out this year. Arch Manning's not coming out this year. But who else are we going to actually go forward? Folks says no. Run it with AOC. And see, we've had plenty of opportunities to run it with AOC. Would that be the smart move if we didn't get a quarterback? Yeah, sure. Run it with AOC. See what he does. But really, we're not going to do that. We absolutely need a quarterback right now. As of right now, the Raiders are drafting number 3 overall. I do believe as long as we lose today that we'll move up to number 2 because of a strength of schedule. Even though we'll have the same records as the Titans, I do believe that, yep, that's what it looks like. But we will be playing the Giants. However, we do play the Giants. All we got to do is lose them. That's crazy. I thought that I made a video earlier in the week, man, that I was like, well, maybe Titans might be able to win this game, and it wasn't today's game, right? And maybe the Saints might pull off a win, but it wasn't today's game. Well, I did say the Titans might pull it off just because of the whole hedeursanders and Cam Ward thing. But that defense in Cleveland is crazy. So I thought, with that offensive line in Tennessee, it's going to be rough. But they already won. I did not think that it was going to be that fast. Charlie, watching the Raiders is not a party. It depends on how you look at it, Charlie. It depends on how you look at it. Right? Like, really, the whole thing about the watch party is that we're going to watch the game together and, talk it up in the chat. Let's talk about what's going on in the game. Let's talk about how we feel about things. Let's talk about what we want to see. Let's talk about what we want to see happen in the draft, all that kind of stuff. Smoke, that's a rough one. If we were going to do that, instead of wasting resources on a new QB or a vet, just like the OC start like you're supposed to, use those picks and cap space to get an O line. If we get an O line and a T line and we run it back with O'Connell, we're at best, an 8, maybe 9-win team at best. And that's if we really stack both lines. If we stack the trenches, and I like Ian O'Connell. I wish we would have started him last year. I would rather play him than Peters. But those are not things that happen at this point. We're drafting at the top of the draft. If you're drafting that high and your biggest weakness on your team is quarterback, you got to get a quarterback. Because you can get linemen in the second, you can get linemen at free agency. quarterback is not easy. It's not easy. Psychology, do you think we have a chance to not blown out or to not be blown out in this game? I mean, we looked good on our first offensive drive, but at least said no good quarterbacks in this draft. I've been looking at Mendoza's tape, man. I've been looking at a lot of things on Fernando Mendoza, and I've really gotten to a point where I'm pretty comfortable with taking. I mean, so far since I started this channel, there hasn't been a quarterback that I said was going to end up being good in the NFL that turned out to be a bust. However, I'm wrong. Shore Sanders. I did say that about Shore Sanders, so I can't there have been quarterbacks where I thought that they weren't going to be very good, and they turned out to be pretty decent, like Bo Nix. And I don't think Bo Nix is really a good quarterback as much as he is a good team, but he's a good fit for the situation. What's going to be a Raider? There we go. And it makes sense, right? It makes sense. Raiders bring in a Hispanic quarterback. David, we can't get Jeremiah Smith because Jeremiah Smith is not going to be. He's not eligible for the draft this year. All right, so right now, um, Broncos have 169 total yards. Raiders have 76 passing yards. Broncos have 107. Raiders have 52 rushing yards. Broncos have 62. Raiders have 24. I mean, there we go. Third down efficiency. They're 4 for 6. We're 1 for 4. Uh, they have more penalties. They have 4. We have 1. Time of possession. They've had the ball 18-26. We've had it 11-49. Not too big of a gap yet, but still need to close it in. But I mean, really, I'm going to stick with it. I don't want to see this movie. He's based out of Oakland. No, I am in New Mexico. And yes, New Mexico is a state. For whatever reason, a lot of people ask, well, what part of Mexico is New Mexico? Well, what part of England is New England? What part of New York is New York? We are a state. Yeah, Jamal, that's facts. CJ Albuquerque, I'm actually 100 miles north of. Yeah, we definitely do have a losing culture. Man, I think that keeper kicked on, and I got to do something about it. I'll be right back. Trust with the follow. Salute. I'm telling you, right? Like the whole AOC talk, I do believe that people only really want Aiden O'Connell because of maybe potential and to see something different because the QBs that we've been starting have been trash. And so then there's the whole thought of, well, when Aiden O'Connell did play, he did pretty good, and maybe his development has gone enough to where he could be a good QB. But that's a could be, could be. Yeah, he's got experience, but we don't know that for a fact. And it's like, oh, well, let's pass up on a top quarterback in the draft to see if this dude that's been on our roster, that's our third string quarterback right now, maybe he's developed to be a good player. You know? D, that's fine. We got plenty of Broncos fans in the chat, actually. Dude, yeah, that's pretty evident. The Broncos are kicking out the ball. Raiders will receive. Going to Raheem Mostert, crossing the 25 to 30, gets to about the 31. Leonard, I am not. That's how you get the channel taken down. Trust that I'm a Raider fan that's born and raised and still lives in Denver. Yeah, yeah, I mean, I'm here in New Mexico, so we end up with so many Broncos and Cowboys fans because those are the games that they show us. Ashton Genty looked like he picked up about 1 yard on that rush. We definitely got to get the run game going if we want to even think about scoring more points. 8 carries for 25 yards. Great. Yes, K9. Draftman doesn't keep O'Connell and get rid of you. And after Genty stuck at the line of scrimmage. I've noticed that every time we run to the left today, it's getting stuffed, and when we run to the right, he's actually getting started. No line to help him. Yes, at the beginning. But when he was running behind Caleb Rogers, he was actually getting started. Homer said on eligibility for the draft, college players would have to be out of high school for 4 years, even if they never started college. Gino almost throws a pick. It's like he couldn't feel that pressure coming up behind him, and he's hurt on his throwing hand. It looked like Gino Smith was missing some skin on his throwing hand. But you can see on his whole ring finger on his right hand that the skin was torn up. And we're going to punt. 4th and 8. Broncos shifting around all over the place. That's kind of weird. Great punt by Cole. Down at the 9. So this might be good news. Sad to see. Yeah, but it is sad that we're worried about the draft. And we're already just that's all we're looking forward to at this point in the season. Draft. Yeah, I appreciate that too, Hummer, because I wasn't really sure like what the eligibility requirements were because I was actually just looking at that the other day because there's somebody that's in the draft that I was looking at. I can't remember who it was, man. I looked at a lot of people this week, but he only had like 2 years in college, but he's eligible for the draft. It's kind of weird because it seems like these other players are. Some of them had like played 3 years already or something. No, 2 years, right? 3 years, yeah, 3 years. I remember there was one guy I was looking at that played 3 years in college and he still is not eligible for next year. I want to say that was, I don't even want to speculate. I know who it was. Look it up. What that? I thought it was Julian Sand, but it's not. It was all the cheaters. Joe, y'all think Dino got to get benched? So even with that injury, we saw it a couple weeks ago. Geno Smith leg injury. He was limping, and he still was out there on the field, even though he couldn't move. So he's probably David King. Yeah, in basketball they can come straight out of high school. I think both Kobe and LeBron James came straight out of high school. It's crazy. Canine. Sometimes it's a player in the draft that nobody's talking about. It turns out to be good. It's accurate. That is accurate. I don't think anybody was talking about Max Crosby. Completed on the sideline. Raul finally brings him down. So I think that was a gain of 4. Kenny Pickett's throwing the ball around like as if he might go in. John Leon helped, hurt his middle finger. Why? Because you don't want him back in the game, or it was his ring finger on his throwing hand. First down, Denver. Prentice trying to have trouble talking to guys. We'll try not to tap out on him. Huge touchdown by the Packers. 44 yards. Air. Cold. We're still on defense. Patrick Pickett's on the sideline throwing the ball around like as if it might go in. First and 10, Broncos run the ball. Gain of maybe 4, maybe 3. Terry, who is a Chiefs fan, wants Tino out of the game because y'all want the Broncos to lose, right? But no, completed the Bryant looked like he picked up about 16 yards. He's a lifelong fan. I've seen bad seasons, but the last three has me at a new low. Yeah, for sure, man. It's been really, really brutal lately. Yeah, Bobby, that's what we're talking about, man. Hummer losing voice. It's okay, bro. We all feel the same. Nah, man. I'm definitely catching whatever my son's had over the last couple of days, which sucks because he's been in bad shape. So I definitely feel it all on my chest right here. It's not fun. Holding offense, 10-yard penalty. Yeah, David. I can't believe that Pete Carroll's been trying to make this work with Gino. I'm I'm just really confused. Really confused about that whole dynamic. That's another thing, K9. Gino, he isn't moving the offense, even though it is not all his fault. When he went on that presser and he's like, blame it on me. If you're like late to work, blame it on me. He got real sarcastic and all that shit. And to me, I took that as he was saying, everybody's blaming me for everything, even though it's not my fault. That's what I trust. He's streaming the game live. I mean, I'm not putting the game on the screen, but yeah, the game is on right now. That's what you're asking. Should I start betting against this? I can get something out of this. Ooh, Jamal Adams gets flags thrown all around him. Oh, sorry, Trusty. I know we're not showing. This game is getting shown across like half the nation. It's crazy. Like usually, like on Facebook, I'll post the map of where they're showing it on TV, and usually it's like this little sliver of California and around Vegas, and that's about it. And this week, it's like almost the whole Western United States is showing this game. It's good. This what happened to Gino. Um, he got thrown to the ground and messed up his hand. Laughlin is just going and going and going. Lonnie Johnson finally drug him down to get the first down. Yo, Humber, did they change that for the NBA that they require 1 year out of high school before draft eligible? Because I remember Kobe Bryant was 17. Does my smart TV have the game? I don't know, man. It depends on if you have any regular channels. Like for me, I don't have regular channels, but I have streaming services. Right now, I'm watching it on Paramount Plus. Another run, and Landon Roberts stuffed him at the line of scrimmage. Second and 10. Broncos on R41. Dumps it off to Harvey. Pick up of 9 yards. Woven with the repost. Ooh, thank you. Appreciate that. Man. Oh man, Broncos run through a giant hole in our defense. Prentice with the longest run of his career. Broncos are moved up to, I think, our 12 yard. Whoa, it's too much. Oh, they're on the 14. Pass completed. Looked like a pickup of maybe 2 yards before he's pushed out about a Ryan. John said, can't wait for the press conference. And Pete Carroll talks about how good we played and how hard we fought. Yes, and he's going to say how good Gino is. United said, at least we're good for 7 points a game. That is accurate. Broncos on hour 11, second and 7. Quick pass. Looked like a pickup of about 4 yards. David said, I'm still waiting for Mark Davis to come out and say, Rome wasn't built to be here, idiot. Remember said, remember, Pickett ran a ton in college, invented the fake slide, which was dumb, in my opinion, to not call as a penalty. Yeah, I mean, Pickett was very good in college, very shitty in the NFL. So the pass to Harvey was completed, and he got to a first down. Now they are first and goal. Izzy with the follow salute. Crazy. So Broncos are on the 3 yard line, first and goal. 4:27 left in the third quarter. Score is 14-7. Harvey up the middle, and we can't tackle as per usual. Touchdown Broncos. All right. Yeah, I didn't see that, John. Were they showing that? The extra point is good. The score is now 21-7. 4:05 left in the third quarter. No chip, same shit. Yeah, get it done. We actually had a pretty good drive where we scored that touchdown. And, I mean, it looked like a damn good drive. And for a second there, I was like, uh-oh, we're going to mess around and win a game just like the Saints and Titans did. But at this point, no, I don't think that we're in any risk of doing it. Homer said, yeah, but the fake slide was very Al Davis. You ain't cheating. You ain't. David, another close competitor for sure, man. And I don't think Derek Carr's coming back here at all, man. K9, has Bowers caught any passes since his TD catch? No, they haven't even targeted. No, Sky. That is not facts in the situation. We need to move on from Pete Carroll because he has made mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake all year. Who he chooses to put in the game, he's moved around positions that they're not good at. I think it was week 6 where he was like, "Oh, we're still on our roster and learning our guys." Like, it's very clear that you don't know who you have on your roster because you don't know where to put them. No one is saving us in 1 year. Um, there's plenty of teams that have had evidence. They get a new coach, they get a new quarterback, they turn it around quick. If we are getting worse instead of better under a new coach, nah. Now, if Pete Carroll was out here winning 6, 7 games, I wouldn't be saying that. So unless we go and win out, yeah, Patriots is a good example. They just got Mike Rabel, and first year as their head coach, they have 11 wins in their first year with this head coach. Last year, they sucked. Like, come on. Hummer said, "Sorry, Shu, but you're wrong. Pete only made one mistake coming here. No, we only made one mistake bringing Pete here. Gino is still on the field, has his fingers taped. He's like all like, let me see over here, like when he's trying to grab the football with his throwing hand. Stupid. They're still going to run. Whoa, Pete Carroll's going to be like, whoa, Gino still gave us a chance of winning at that point. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, Brock Bowers got targeted. First down. Looked like he picked up about 12 or 13. Yeah, John, I don't think that we got to move on from Crosby to do all that. Having those extra picks could be good, but when you look at what happened with Khalil Mack, that went horribly wrong. And I think that Mark Davis is too afraid of repeating that mistake. They're trying to set up a screen for Bowers. It wasn't there. Geno Smith threw it. Geno with follows. Geno could go blind and people still keep him in. That's facts. Yeah, K9, that's the problem. The Raiders have given up too many good players. And we've been drafting like shit. Geno completed to Tyler Lockett, looked like about 8 yards. Too slow with the super chat. Salute. Thank you for the $2. Y'all need to fire everyone and rebuild everything. I mean, yeah, and the problem is, and why people are hesitant to do that is because we've done that too many years ago. We had Josh McDaniels for a year and a half. We had Antonio Pierce for a year and a half. Then we get Pete Carroll. He only lasts 1 year, I bet. Up the middle, Trey Tucker had his hands on it, but as he fell to the ground, he dropped it. So, Yo, what's going on? There we go. Looks like I'm getting back up and running. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Too slow is firing coaches and GMs at the same time. So we haven't had any consistency when it comes to GM, which has been, quite a big problem for us. So if we're in a position where we actually just go ahead and hold on to John Spytek, move on from Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's on a 3-year contract, completed the Jack Besh. We're 1 yard shy of a first down. One. Hold on to John Spytek. Let John Spytek actually hire probably a younger coach, right? Because Pete Carroll, he only has a 3-year contract. And if he's going to start off this horrible, why even bother to go through the motions of doing it again? Because he's going to say, no, Jackson Powers Johnson isn't a good center. And he's going to say, yeah, Geno Smith is a good quarterback. Alex Cappa is a great, he's gonna die on that hill. I can't even say that because he's too old to make that kind of statement. You know what I mean? I'm not meaning that. Yeah, the whole Chip Kelly decision and all that. Ashton Bentley runs for first and goal. 20 seconds left in the third. We're gonna run one more play before the end of the quarter. Bowers in motion. That's what Geno's looking at. Rolls to the right, throws it away. 7 seconds left in the third. Fire Davis. Yeah, we can't fire Davis, but he's at least bringing in Richard Seymour, Tom Brady, and a couple other owners in order to get some help because he doesn't know what he's doing. Is he making good decisions that are making the Raiders a shit ton of money? Yes, he is. Is he making good decisions that are actually turning into wins? No, absolutely not. Second and goal. Raiders on the 10. Geno Smith has time to throw rolls to the right. Completed a Brock Bowers with one hand because Bowers is just a beast. That. There we go. Go back in. Bowers is crazy, bro. Terminal stupidity. The Raiders O line is the worst I've seen in years. Yeah, it's probably because they suffer from the terminal stupidity. Yeah, it's been really rough. And really, we had the same players that have the same line that we had last year, but we moved them around like musical chairs. And then we're like, oh, I don't know why it's not working. It's like it's very, very clear to everybody except for Carroll and his son Brennan. Oh, what is going on with my things? CC, how you feeling about the game or in life? Because I feel sick right now. My chest hurts, coughing, throat scratchy. About the game, we're doing what we're supposed to. We're doing what we're supposed to. Right now, we have the third overall pick. I believe when we lose today, we move in front of the Titans. With only the Giants standing in our way of the number one overall. Patty, no, it's not halftime. It's the end of the third quarter. End of the third. I said funny thing after I complimented Gino, that amazing catch by Brock Genti was wide open until yeah, I mean, the mental errors are just Patty Mahomey would follow through. Can my Ashton anything? I mean, what are we in now? Third down? Third and goal? Unless it's a pass, then probably not because we're not going to win it. Gunsmoke, what are you talking about? Pickett's in the game. Why is Pickett in the game? Third and goal, King Pickett goes in. Raiders have the ball in the 7. Pickett completed to Jack Bash for 2 yards. Geno Smith is headed in the locker room. And our offense is staying on the field. Big Ant, no, I'm not showing the game. Fourth and goal. Kenny Pickett takes a snap, rolls to the right, throws way too high for Powers. Incomplete, turnover on downs. John says, just happy to see Gino gone. Hey David, you could get your 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 wish, man. If Kenny Pickett gets hurt, Aiden O'Connell comes in. Yeah, and another commercial. Telling you, man, Pete Carroll hates Aiden O'Connell because Aiden O'Connell is Geno Smith's biggest competition. Pete Carroll does not want to bench Geno Smith, and so he needs Aiden O'Connell out of the picture. They even kept him out after his injury for way longer than Smith. Yeah. Gunsmoke said Aces O'Connell, baby. There's a possibility he enters the game now. If Geno Smith is going to the locker room, it's possible. It's definitely possible. And I'd like to see Aiden get out there and just have Aiden. Those of you that have been with this channel for a long time, man, I've always liked it. I've never thought Aiden is going to take us to the Super Bowl. I've always liked the kid. I liked him more than Garner Minshew. I liked him more than Gene Smith, Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, shit. Notice Patrick said Super Bowl champion Pickett. That's right. Kenny Pickett is a Super Bowl champ. You got to take the knee. K9 said Pete blew a Super Bowl win from Russell Wilson to get MVP. Of course, Amy Throw said he's a good person, I'm sure. Who, Aiden O'Connell? Yeah, Aiden O'Connell is a good person. David, Aiden O'Connell can't play unless Kenny Pickett gets hurt. Because he's the third emergency point. That's the only way he gets it. So you gotta wish for Kenny Pickett to get hurt if you want Aiden O'Connell to play, man, and that's kind of harsh, man. To wish somebody to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? All right, RJ Harvey runs the ball for about 4 yards. Oh, okay. Geno Smith is questionable to return. Has a right shoulder injury on top of his right finger injury. Jeff said a good draft pick is coming your way. That is accurate. That is accurate. With the loss today, I believe we move up to number 2. Father, Father Yosef, what is your favorite Raiders playoff win in the last 20 years? That's a great question. That is a great question. Humber said, I'd rather see Pickett finish this game. Then we can see how he handles a chaotic pass rush. We already seen AOC collapse and kills him. If he ever learns to scramble, it would be nice. Yeah, I don't think O'Connell's ever going to learn how to scramble. Um, he's just not a fast guy. He's just not. He can't just magically get faster. You know? Just work. Troutman with the 5-yard reception. CJ said, holy shit, we're bad. Yeah, we're bad. Defensive scheme is horrible. Yeah, we're aware. There's like always somebody open. It's just zone, 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 zone. You just got to figure out the pattern of how many zone, you know, like where going to be the open spots. Then you just run your routes according to what's going to be most likely. See that guy wide open in the middle of the zone. Crazy, right? David said, fine, let's Kenny Pickett do absolutely nothing. By the time they pull their head out of their ass, Aiden O'Connell will get the equivalent of a preseason to show his stuff. That's accurate. If even. If whoa, those folks saying that we that's crazy. Oh, Tyree Wilson with the pressure, but Bo Nix quickly escapes it, slides at the line of scrimmage. Gunsmoke said, I'll always be a Carr and AOC fan. Same with Josh Jacobs. We did them dirty all the day. All the day. Gunsmoke get crazy right now. CJ said, can't wait to draft QB. Yeah, same. Really looking forward to that. Thank you, David, for never wishing for injury. But if it happens, then Andrew Collins gets Harvey with the screen pass, missed the first tackle, picked up about 6 yards. There's a flag. TJ said, I don't know why people flex on this. I know it's crazy. It's been happening all year. At my work, people go and flex. Oh, we beat it. It's like, yeah, you guys beat a horrible team. Holding on the defense, 5-yard penalty. First down. Gunsmoke said AOC scrambling improved from last season. It was a minor improvement, but still better than the direction she does go. Gino sucks at scrambling or move around in the pocket at all. He has no pocket for this. It's crazy. AOC was actually pretty good at throwing on the move in college. He would like roll out to the right and throw while running, and it looked great. And we've never played him like that. Oh shit! Charles Snowden with the pressure. He dumps it off to Humphrey, picked up about 5 yards. heard we had a chance drafting Josh Allen in 2018. Is that true? I've never heard that. I don't know the facts around it. I would say in 2018 we had Derek Carr, so it'd be really weird. Incomplete intended for Bryant. Darian Porter got a hand on it. Darian Porter is a good corner, and it's ridiculous that we do not play him for. That's crazy how I can be more sick now than when I started the live. Oh, Nick's completed. Oh, it's Sutton. First down. Stokes just got beat on that route. Sutton, because Stokes knew he was cutting to the outside, but Sutton made such a hard turn. Stokes didn't realize it was going to be that sharp of a turn. I don't really need to know that Sutton has the sixth most receiving yards in Denver history. Good for him. Or right on. Peter Medina with the I don't know, man. I'm not feeling bad about this at all. And that's because I don't want to win. No, this is Patrick. After this game, we get the number one pick. No. So what will happen is we will move up to number two because the Tennessee Titans and the Saints both won today. So right now we're sitting at number three. The Titans are number two, and the Giants are number one. So even though we'll have the same record as the Titans and we beat them, they have a stronger strength of schedule. So from my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, we're 7528 when you need him. Um, I believe that we still will pick in front of the Titans, and then the Giants will be the only team. And we play the Giants in a couple of weeks. It's Sunday after Christmas. And as long as we're not stupid and go win that game, as long as we just go ahead and lose the games that we're going to lose, what we're playing the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Eagles, and the Giants. Those are all lose games. If we go and lose against the Giants, they fall behind us. Boom, number one pick. Claudio with the share. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, you're not wrong with that, man. I can't even really what usually ends up happening to us is that we're usually picking what, last year we picked number six, the year before that we picked number 13, the year before that we picked number seven. You know, so we're never really getting high enough to really get a quarterback. Right now we have the opportunity to actually go get a quarterback. Bert, you might be onto something there, man. Raiders fans are downfall for the Raiders because they support no matter what. If you stop buying jerseys and stop buying tickets, it would make major changes. That's not true because we are in Vegas. Daniel Clifford called a salute. So since we're in Vegas, the stadium sells out no matter what. So they don't need Raider fans to buy tickets because the opposing teams like to go out to Vegas to go watch a game in a nice stadium out in Vegas, go on vacation. So that's the problem with moving to Vegas. Tank Bowl game, Raiders and Jets. We're not playing the Jets, so. Right, and that's true. It doesn't matter where the Raiders go; they're always going to have seats filled, jerseys sold, and that's facts because we have a good fan base. We just don't have a good team. Broncos run for a first down. Leroy, I don't know if it was a huge mistake because we have a good facility. We have the franchise is worth more money, and so you can put a whole lot of things in place in order to help us succeed. At this point, we need to land a quarterback and a good head coach. And we do that by having the number one overall pick, move on from Pete Carroll. Like, as soon as the time runs out in the last game of the season against the Chiefs, you just fired Pete Carroll. And you cut Geno Smith, move on. Oh, Nix runs for the first down. Oh, he stepped out. He stepped out. Nobody's talking about that. They're just talking about him getting the first down. So that's crazy. Kelly, we actually do have fan base in Vegas. It's 6-4, by the way. But we just don't have a huge fan base there. Looks like Crosby and Devin White got them down just shy of the first down. Alex, I doubt that we score another touchdown, honestly. There's 6:21 left in the game. Broncos have the ball. They're going to score again, one way or another. Whether it's a touchdown or a field goal. Mo Nix goes with the sneak. I don't know if he got the full 2 yards. I get it, Leroy. I get why you feel like that. But the thing is, man, is that for me, it's not about where we're from. It's about the shield. That's it. Hummer said true about signing tickets, but did a local interview on Davis. He said the only thing worse than stadium takeover is losing, and his b-ball team wins it all. I don't think it's him. I used to. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Mark Davis is like sabotaging our team or just making stupid moves. We're just not getting the right people in place. It's not. He did what he thought he needed to do in order to save the franchise because we kept getting shut down in Southern California. They did not want to give us a home. They did not want to let us. Like he kept trying to make a stadium, and they kept shutting it down. And as soon as we moved, they're like, "Just kidding, we're going to build SoFi Stadium." And the Rams and Chargers get the fucking shit. Infected QB, number one pick QB, Fernando Mendoza. Broncos have a rough road ahead of them. 4th and 1. You say high school? They go for a run. It looks like they got the first down. Cali was not wrong. Everybody goes to Vegas because it's a tourist place. Our real friends are out there. There are some people who make the trip, but I get what you're saying. Shit, man. At this rate, we might not even get the damn ball back. Harvey with a 2-yard run. Raider Mike said, Mendoza will look nice and step on the back. Just get it going. Get him a line. Hmm. Patrick said when the Raiders start winning, when they start winning, it will absolutely create a fan base. Vegas. Yeah, but they got to show that they're worth rooting for. Next completed apprentice. Sideline goes out of bounds. Harvey damn chip block friggin' Crosby. Yeah, Bert. Raiders love fan base wherever they go. Bill Reaper with the Hartley salute. Thank you. Thanks for the gift. 3rd and 3. Nix goes for the end zone off the hands of Sutton. It is now 4th and 3. Field goal unit going out. Raiders fans not only travel well, Bert, but I I know that there's several fans that have relocated to Vegas. 23-yard field goal attempt, 3:59 left in the game. It was good. That makes it 24-7. 3-possession game, less than 4 minutes left. We are securing ourselves a top draft pick. Homer said that Mark Davis is trying to hire the best. He's playing the absolute. He is paying the absolute best. Best equipment, best facility. I believe we will get a top coach for all change. Well, that's what he's been trying to do, right? Like he brought in John Gruden and paid him a 10-year guarantee deal, and then emails got leaked. The whole thing got blown up, and we were like 5-2 at the time. We're looking really good. Then, um, he comes and brings in Josh McDaniels, thinking, okay, Josh McDaniels was the coordinator responsible, Tom Brady with the Patriots, all them. And you can't say he's not a good coordinator because right now he's the coordinator, the offensive coordinator of the Patriots, and they have the 11. So, there's that. And paid him this huge contract. That didn't pan out. And so then he brings in Pete Carroll, and then he makes Chip Kelly the highest paid offensive coordinator. I'm not really sure why, like what was the evidence to make Chip Kelly that, but he's just trying to throw money at the problems, right? And he doesn't know what decisions. Just if somebody says this is the move, he's like sure, and he throws money at it, right? So I think Mark Davis is doing the best that he can with what he has, and at some point, I would like to hope that we're going to go ahead and just land a coach who's worth paying. Sanjit follows through. How's the game? The Broncos are going to win. There's less than 4 minutes left. It's 24-7. Our average points per game is about to go down again. I think that'll put us as the worst, actually, with points per game. Jamie said the Patriots have the second easiest schedule. Haven't played great teams. Yeah, I mean, and that was like one of the things I had been talking about a couple of weeks ago is that the Patriots really have played an easy schedule. The Broncos have, for the most part, played a pretty easy schedule. And we'll see what it looks like for them when they play against real teams. Yes, we need to go young at QB and head coach and OC and DC. New blood ideas. New blood, new ideas. That is facts. Okay, here comes Kenny Pickett in garbage time. I still bet you he does not. Yeah, Kenny Pickett sucks. You can't pay me enough money to live in Vegas. 130 degrees. They can keep it. Dude, I'm telling you, man, I've been in Vegas in summer, but it's actually was nighttime. It'll be 1 a.m. and it's hot. Yeah. Like I said, I met Gruden at the beginning of his third year, told him I was a fan of his, and said his 10-year contract was the best help I've had in years. I hope it's him out. He whispered highest, and I believe it. Yeah, I mean, Mark Davis, he wants to win. He just doesn't know how. That's why he brought in Brady. That's why he brought in Richard Seymour. That's why he's looking for help. Who's got the ball? The Raiders have the ball. Jody, I need 15 more yards for Bo Nix. It's not going to happen, Jody. Even if the Raiders go down and score, let's say they run a running play and Ashton takes it all over the house. I don't know that the Broncos are going to throw the ball. They'll probably just run it, run it, run it. I see what we're talking about. What do you think? Would you hire John Gruden again? And I would not. Um, would I rather have John Gruden than what we've had over the last couple of years? Yes. But John, I don't know. I don't know. If they announced John Gruden was coming back, I don't think I'd be really upset. I just don't know that. I just don't know that John Gruden would come back in here and then take us to the. Plus, after John Gruden going against the NFL, then they really have. That's what happened when Al Davis went against the NFL. Let's not forget the fact that John Gruden did what Antonio Pierce did. Went over there to the Chiefs and put on Chiefs so they can all eat a fatty. Kenny Pickett throwing to Tyler Lockett, incomplete. Off the hands of Lockett. Couldn't smoke. Pickett accuracy is bad. Oh yeah, for sure. Kobe, I do not. I do not. What about Robert Sala? Incomplete. Intended for Lockett, but there's a flag. Pass interference on Patrick 10. Robert Sala, I don't know that he could be a good coach somewhere because it went so horrible for him with the Jets. But it's like that with everybody on the team. Brian Flores, yeah, Brian Flores is an interesting possibility for sure. 510, but I'm not at a spot where I'm really convinced that Brian Flores or Robert Sala can come over here and turn this team. I'd definitely rather than have them compete. Completing the Jack Bash looks like a pickup of about 5 yards. I'll go Shula from the Rams, though. Yeah, Shula from the Rams. What's his name? Minter, defensive coordinator for the Chargers. Those are two names I'm looking at. Jack Bash, another completion. That was a first down. Raider Mike 27. So Carroll is fired. He will be. Frank Kubiak. Frank Kubiak's not name that's out there. Oh, Pickett gets sacked. Nick Benito. Oh, damn. I think I only need Allen to get a sack now. Oh, and Raheem Mostert, I need him to get 4 rushing yards. Pickett completed a Bowers for the first down. That was a pickup of 15 yards. Pickett. Oh, Jackson was in the game. Touchdown. Pickett to Jackson. Jackson is a guy that I'm surprised hasn't played more. He played really good in the preseason. He is the nephew of Bo Jackson. Pete Carroll's got a smile on his face. He's like, well, wait a minute. Has my better QB been on the bench? Yes. Yes. That's what it's looking like. That's crazy. Yeah, we got Jerry Rice's kid too. I think he's on the practice squad. Also, that's a touchdown in garbage time. 24-14 is the score. 2 minutes left. That's the thing, right? Is that we get rid of coach, get rid of coach, get rid of coach, but 510 is right. We should play all the young guys from here on out. It's been like that for a couple of weeks, and we haven't been doing it. In fact, once they said, you know what, the Raiders are officially eliminated from playoff contention, we should have just put out all our rookies, maybe even some practice squad guys. Like, let's just see who else we have. You know? David, yeah, okay, yeah, we were just talking about that. Because folks said, I mean, if defense makes a play, Benjamin, you lost once you got Gino. Yeah, for sure. So Ashton Genty falter to the O line. I think it's mostly the O line. Raider Mike says 2-15, #1 pick. We are on our way. We are on our way. I'm here for it. Damn it. Get him a fullback. You know, get him somebody that can block. Oh, it's just stop the Jets. Yeah. First Rams are winning. Bears are losing to the Packers. And tonight is the Chiefs versus the Texans. You know, we got the Eagles next week, you guys. Yeah, Lucas. Washington got beat down 31-0 by J.J. McCarthy. Shit, crazy. It's crazy how you bring in another QB and all of a sudden they're targeting Jack Bash and they're targeting Jackson. Oh, onside kick. Onside kick. Uh, it only made it 9 yards. Accurate, David. Yeah, the onside kicks are super dumb. You have to announce it and all that, and you can't do like trick kicks or anything like that. I feel like they need to change the onside kick. I don't know how. Hondo Gonzalez is salute. Yeah, the Eagles aren't the same team, right, Mike, but they're still better than us. David King, you're right. The garbage time play is definitely different. Like I said, it's not over yet, but it's definitely looking good for you. Yeah, we definitely pick. See, like I was saying before, Broncos get the ball back and they're going to run because we want to run the clock. Exactly, David. Jackson is the only player that's under 24 the Raiders scored a touchdown this year. Second and two, 2:06 left in the game. Hand out to Harvey, and he gets the first. Pete Carroll called a timeout. 2:01. It's crazy how the Broncos' number one running back got injured against us last time we played. Uh, and then, after that, the running backs are still doing well. So much of it has to do with scheme and oh, Hummer. So the thing about Jackson is that he's the first Raiders player this season over the age of 24 to score a touchdown. Carroll has dementia. It's definitely slipping with him. Oh, Nick's in trouble. Max Crosby gets the sack on that. Okay. I needed Max Crosby to get a sack, but I would never got one. So yeah. David said, wouldn't it be funny if the Raiders drafted Bo Jackson from Ohio State? That would be very strange. He's named Bo after Bo Jackson. Patrick, what's the score? 24. Broncos about to run out the clock. Broncos is going to take the dub today. Good folks said, all right, so today we found out we can improve our O-line. I think it is an option, and we still need to work on tackle. What did I miss? Gino Smith sucks, and Gino Smith is definitely our best chance of getting a number one overall pick. Yeah, you're pretty on point. Homer said, Gunsmoke, you missed where I stubbed my toe and later had some rotten sunflower seeds. Both hilarious and more adorable in this game. They are also both, Shayla, where you guys beat a really shitty team. It's just Hondo, where are we in the draft? Right now, we're number 3 overall after losing this game. I believe we move up to number 2 because the Titans and the Saints won today. Even though we have the same record as the Titans and we beat them, their strict schedule, I believe, makes it to where we move ahead of them, and then only the Giants stand in our way and we play them. So all we got to do is lose to that and lose that, I believe. I still don't understand the thing about us beating the Titans and still drafting in front of them. But that is my understanding. No, we don't need a first round punter. Maybe a first round kicker. Though. Second and 15, handoff, picks up about 4. Raiders call their final timeout. Matthew Stafford is definitely a good quarterback, and he probably made a really good decision for his career to not come to the Raiders. There was a rumor that just came out that we would have had to trade a second round pick for Matthew Stafford, and it would happen. I don't know, man. If that's true, why would we give up a third for Gino and not a second for Stafford? Jack Bash or Matthew Stafford? No, Pete Carroll's not going to get fired after today. They're going to wait till the end of the season. Broncos, huge run on that one. I think that was a gain of about 7. Let's make it 4th and 4. Clock is just running. Where's Derek Carr? Derek Carr is like retired. He's not playing. His contract belongs to the Saints. I say retired because he hasn't done the official retirement. He's still talking about signing a one-day contract with the Raiders to retire later. The Broncos call their last timeout with 104 left. I still can't believe that the Chiefs are 6-6. Remember said that Spytek let Pete have his QB no lineman, so he could try. That's why everything crashes. Well, that's the thing, right? Is that you can't have Pete Carroll saying, "Well, I didn't get this, or I didn't get that." It's like Pete got to make some decisions, and they're gone horribly wrong. And then I think for next year, Spytek goes, "Okay, we're going to do things my way," and I hope that I'm right on that. Denver has lined up to go for it on 4th and 3. Why are they not kicking the field goal? Because the spread? Turnover on downs. Vegas gets the ball back with 58 seconds left, 0 timeouts. Crosby was kind of limping a little bit, and he said, "Fuck." I don't know, man. We'll see how it goes. Greater Francisco with the follows. Hummer said, "Okay, Pickett, 58 seconds, down by 10. You can do it." I mean, they're going to go out there and they're going to run it. Pete's going to say, "It's from good practice. Practice." Kenny Pickett throwing with 2 gloves on. To Raheem Mostert, goes out of bounds, gain of about 4 yards. 6 seconds come off the clock. Too little, too late. Yeah, of course. They're basically running a practice room. Yeah, John, the way that Pickett moves in the pocket is way better than Geno. Completed the Jack Best gain of maybe 4. Third down, 35 seconds. Pickett moving around good. Runs and slides. That was a bad decision. Why don't you run out of bounds? Going for a spike. First and 10, 16 seconds left. Moving on to second and 10 because of spike. Afro Alien, we are going to be number 2 in the draft after this game. Giants are going to be in front of us. Yeah, John, you're absolutely right. The way that Pickett climbs the pocket, moves around, it's way better than Juice. So his pocket movement is good. But also, he's playing in garbage time, so to get a real read on Pickett right now is not really going to happen. But I do like his mobility. Throwing the run to Tyler Lockett completed. So that came out. Jones is going to get a delayed game penalty. So now it's going to look like we only lost by a touchdown. That's crazy. Those garbage time points, What's the spread on this game? .46-yard attempt by Daniel Carlson. Kick is up. Kick is good. All the time's off the clock. Final score 24-17. It looks like we only lost by a touchdown. That is not what happened at all. Peter said FBI about to look into this. The spread is 8.5. That's crazy. That is crazy. Raider 7528 finally speaks up with the yeah. So now after this, see how fast it updates. Ankathon updated pretty fast with the other games. Has not updated yet. I believe we're going to move up to pick number 2. 7528, can you spread some insight on this situation for us? Because the belief is that since the Titans, even though we beat the Titans, they have a stronger strength of schedule, which means that we're going to pick in front of them, even though we have the same record, and a win against them. Is that accurate? Is that inaccurate? Do you know? Oh, Tankathon says that is correct. Right now, the draft order is, and I will share it on YouTube. The draft order right now is number 1, New York Giants. Number 2, Las Vegas Raiders. Number 3, Tennessee Titans. I'm telling you guys, I am telling you guys right now, this has gone way, way better than expected. This is like, I made a video earlier in the week saying like I look like that dude that's like, with all the little red lines on the board, like looking like I'm like explaining some kind of conspiracy on how the Raiders can get to the number 1 overall pick. And the Saints and the Titans beautifully just went out there and won, which means that the Giants are the only ones in front of us that will play them. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. So see if I can pull this up real quick. Raiders schedule. That. Go ahead and share screen on this. And then I'm going to stop talking because my voice is yes. So right now, our remaining schedule is next week we play the Philadelphia Eagles. That should be a for sure loss. Then we play the Houston Texans. That should be a for sure loss. Then we play the Giants. So the Giants are ahead of us because we have easier strength of schedule. That is why. So then we go against the Giants, and we just have to lose to them. And then week 18, we close out the season against Kansas City, which means that this is super obtainable for us. Super obtainable for us. All we got to do is not win against some trap game for the Eagles or the Texans or the Chiefs, right? And then we just got to not be dumb enough to beat the Giants. And we got the number one overall pick. I'm telling you guys, this is what I want. I'm going to manifest this shit. I'm too sick to keep talking, man. I've already been talking for over 3 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and call it at that, man. Salute you guys for rocking with me the whole game. You guys are the real ones. I will be here next week for the Raiders against the Eagles. Also, I'm going to be putting out some more content throughout the week. Keep an eye out for me. Like always, I love you, nation. I'll catch you on the next one.